So have you ever wandered through those magazines and seen all those beautiful creative containers and thought, how'd they do that? Well, here to tell us how they do that is Larry Cipolla. He is a creative container specialist here at the Arboretum, and he teaches classes here, in fact. Well, Larry, what are some of the real basics for home gardeners to first grab on to learn how to create a gorgeous container?
Sure, I can try to help with that. The first thing is to decide what kind of container you want. And I've got a couple examples here. Containers can be just as simple as a black plastic container, glazed, got a spare bushel basket or terracotta. All of these can be used. And as far as colors go, it's really up to the homeowner to decide what do they like. I'm not here to tell you, this is what you should plant. I mean, it's very personal. But what I want to focus on today is maybe an alternative for some of you, and just talk about foliage, how to create a container using primarily foliage.
Okay.
And we'll go from there.
Because, well, a lot of people don't do that. They think that they have to have flowers. So this is a beautiful cordyline.
Cordyline, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, let's see. Where do you begin?
Sure. I usually select what I call my tallest element first. And what I'm going to do is to show you how to create a container with 3 elements, then 4, and then 5. But I select my tall element first, and if I can do this, this will get about roughly, in Minnesota, roughly about 3 feet, maybe 4 if you're lucky. I'm planting my tallest element in the back or to the side. You never want to put things in the center necessarily, because it's a bit static. So what I've tried to do is to say, okay, my colors today are basically magenta and some greens, obviously. So I've selected cordyline, and there are many varieties of cordyline. This one happens to be one of the little bit more vibrant. And then I've got a Kong coleus that I'm going to include in here, primarily to pick up some of the magenta and some of the colors that you see in not only the Kong coleus, but also my cordyline. That's my second one. I'm going to put in a trailing element.
So would that be sort of like the thriller, filler, and spiller?
Sure.
But of course, some people like to have a little bit more.
Yes.
So you're going to add another plant.
This is another coleus. It's called watermelon. So again, I've got the tall element, the spiller element, and these two will fill, but they won't be exactly the same height.
Right.
You'll see different elements here. And so here's 4, and I prefer odd numbers, but for those of you who like to have even numbered kind of things, this is one example. Mm-hmm. And again, for those of you who absolutely insist on a flower, which is fine, I've selected this geranium. It's a hybrid geranium. So I would place this primarily so that this pink, it's called hot pink, will stand out as this cordyline grows. It's going to have a stalk, stem, and I want that those flower elements to be against a darker background so that it just stands out.
And there you have a creative container by Larry Cipolla. Larry also teaches classes here at the Landscape Arboretum, so be sure to check that out. In fact, you can get all that information on our website, diginminnesota.com. Larry, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. It's gorgeous.
All right. Thank you very much.
Well, Larry Cipolla just showed us how to create beautiful containers. TJ Heinrichsey is going to show us some of his whimsical garden sculptures. That's coming up next on Dig in Minnesota.
Dig In is growing. From the West Coast to the East, you'll see Dig In popping up everywhere with expert local gardening advice. Wherever you are, watch for Dig In, planting garden-to-table know-how across the country.